Earlier this week, BWXT Technologies released a 51-page document responding directly to questions from neighbors about its planned facility in Jonesboro. And today we're sitting down with the president of Tennessee Operations at BWXT, Ron Daly. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for the opportunity to talk to this.
Yes, well, I know that we have a lot to cover this afternoon, and I want to go ahead and jump right into it. Describe to me your plan to the Telford plant and what you're planning on making there and fulfilling this new contract.
Okay. I would start with the fact that this facility has been operating for over 50 years and has been making various depleted uranium products. So this current contract that we're working on is to restore the nation's stockpile of depleted uranium, which is the material that we use to make munitions on behalf of the government.
Yeah, and so tell me just a little bit about how this product is made and where it goes.
Okay, so it is a conversion process that starts with uranium compounds that are of various types of uranium oxides. We convert that to a metal, and the metal is used for foundry work and machining to make munitions and also to go back to the government stockpile of depleted uranium. So think Oak Ridge Y12.
So I know that you did purchase this a couple of years ago, and like you said, this plant has been going for quite some time. However, this property that you're wanting to have rezoned is currently zoned as agriculture and residential. Why do you want to do this here in what seems to be kind of almost an outlier in the middle of some homes and farmland there in Jonesboro?
So again, this industrial site that we've been operating has been there for 50 years. The land that is adjacent to it that we've owned for 40 years. And so the property itself has been in the company's ownership for quite some time, if you think of previous owners, not the current BWXT. And so from the standpoint of the zoning commission, land use, if you think about it from that framework, this is a very logical extension of an existing industrial facility, and that's the approach that we're taking. I think more importantly, the design that we're looking at is actually optimal for the surrounding community because it takes new footprint and puts it to the back of the property rather than directly on the road and directly next to residential neighborhoods. It keeps a natural buffer from the facility and the surrounding community, and that's really important to us in our own design.
Yes, and I know we'll continue to talk about this property and some of the features of it, but we know that Little Limestone Creek also flows directly through it, and part of it is also on a floodplain, and we know, of course, after Helene, there are a lot of folks that are concerned about what could happen. So let's talk about where this wastewater is set to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, and it's really important for this particular process, is any water associated with this process is part of a waste solidification process. And so we take waste, we solidify it, and we ship it out of state to a certified handler of that. What that entails is zero wastewater being added to Little Limestone Creek, and that's a very important part of the design process that we have here.
Well, I know that there has been a high level of opposition from folks in Washington County and even beyond here in the region. Of course, we're talking about concerns of cancer and radiation. I know that even a child got up and spoke in front of the commission speaking about how they were scared for their safety. Are you surprised about this, and are you guys planning to do anything to ease some of these concerns?
First, yes, we are doing something to ease the concerns. If you look at the 51-page document we put out, it is to try to show in detail what we are doing and how we are working to design safely and to protect the community. Are the concerns a surprise? I would say no. If you're not familiar with uranium, in particular depleted uranium, and the fact that it is safer than even natural uranium that you may find in the mountains here in Northeast Tennessee, when you hear uranium, it starts some concerns. As you read through the material provided, the intent is to allay some of those concerns and some of those fears.
Yes, well, I know that if this contract is fulfilled, there are a lot of concerns about what kind of environmental monitoring will happen and who will even oversee it. Do you have any information about that so far? Absolutely.
So in the state of Tennessee, you've got the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation that oversees everything that is done by any of the industrial complexes of any size. And so they will have oversight. They have independent testing, independent analysis that they do, independent inspections from what we do ourselves. I would add to that, we do our own testing to make sure that what we do each and every day is safe.
All right, well, Mr. Daly, of course, we're going to take a quick commercial break and continue this conversation and again learn a little bit more about BWXT Technologies. That's when we come back, and remember that you're watching First at 4. Welcome back here on First at 4 as we continue our conversation with BWX Technologies. Ron Daly, the president of the Tennessee operations, is with me this afternoon. Again, thanks for spending the afternoon with us. Yes, well, I know that we have started this conversation already and we want to just breeze on through it. The vote on the rezoning has been pushed back to next month's commission meeting. What does this extra time allow for?
We had several questions provided to us from the community, and quite frankly, they are very good questions, and we have tried our best to respond to those questions. The responses add up to 51 pages of information. And so as we thought about the community trying to process that, the chances of there being 0 questions coming out on the back end was just nil. And so we wanted to provide a window for that dialogue to occur. So it seemed rather unfair with a January 26th commission date to try to press putting out the answers and saying that is the final answer. Let's have the conversation that the community needs to have. So that's primarily where we're coming from.
Well, either way, there's going to be a vote. And so what are you going to do if this is rejected?
So we are currently working on HPDU construction inside the existing M2 industrial zone. So we have enough footprint to fit in the expansion that we're looking at. We just don't think it's the right answer for the community. And again, for some reasons that we've discussed, that it is better to get the new footprint away from the road, to get the traffic off of State Route 34 and to move it to a place to where it's inside the facility. So I would say from that standpoint, we will work on alternate plans, alternate designs, but the intent is to do what's best for the community, and we do believe wholeheartedly that's in the rezone space.
And speaking of the community, we know that there will be jobs that will be coming. So let's talk about how many folks you are planning to employ and the types of job you offer there at BWXT.
Yeah, great question. So this contract comes with the opportunity to add 175 well-paying jobs. We have heard some conversation that those jobs are going to out-of-staters. They're not for locals, and that is just not the case. So the jobs, they stem from process operators to maintenance jobs to accounting jobs to support this, security jobs. And we do work with local schools, in particular Northeast State Community College, Milligan University, ETSU, to try to get the pipeline set up for new students to fill some of these jobs, for local residents to fill some of these jobs. We do have some folks that come from out of state. For those, keep in mind that those folks who do come from out of state still contribute to the local economy. So.
And let's talk a little bit about what the pay will be for those jobs and when exactly you plan to need these employees.
So starting with some of the more technical jobs, if you think of engineers, engineering technologists, some of those jobs start in the 60 to 70,000 range and top well over 100,000 for very experienced and very niche technologies. The operators themselves have well-paying jobs, $50,000 to $60,000 range that we're talking about there. So these are good paying jobs, and again, they're for local folks who we can get trained, educated, and prepared, qualified to operate safely in this area.
Well, I know that, again, there are a lot of questions. You talk a lot about the community response to this. What is one thing you want people to know about BWXT and what you do?
Yeah, so the heart of BWXT is providing support to the government for national defense. Our intent, our values really do fall into words that we use over and over again, which is make your decisions based on 1, is this safe? 2, is it providing the right quality of product? And then we get into other business issues of can we do this on the schedule that the government has asked for, and can we do it for the cost that they've asked for? Our heart starts with that number 1 question of can you do it and can you do it safely, and making sure that we're prioritizing that number 1.
And we've talked a lot about community here today. How important is it to have this dialogue with the community and to be a part of the community in Washington County now?
So the way that BWXT operates, it is incredibly important to us and to who we are. And so we focus on community engagement, whether it be through providing speakers to the schools, volunteer work to help out with public libraries, making sure that they're getting what they need. We value community engagement. We are part of the community. Again, whether it be at the Jonesboro site where our folks have been there for over 50 years, or whether it be the site in Irwin, Similarly, our folks have been there over 50 years. We are a proud member of the community. And when you speak of the community of Jonesboro, you are speaking of BWXT employees.
All right. Well, Mr. Daly, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us and, of course, to answer all of these questions.
Thank you, Ansley.
Yes. Well, of course, we have plenty more coming up here on First at 4.